Yo, what's up, my people? Back in the building. What's going on? Peace and blessings. Good afternoon. Hope everybody's been enjoying their Thursday. Far, I just finished showering down, y'all. So I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna be on this live all day. I probably won't even make an hour. I'm as short as I can, unless my brother D Free joins me. Uh, I won't be up here long. But top of the well, not top of the top, but good afternoon to everybody, man. And just everybody enjoyed the afternoon so far and their Thursday. And hope everybody will going safe, man. Um, Peace to all y'all. We back with some more boxing talk, more talk. Um, earlier, earlier we spoke about Durant Durant and Aaron Barkley, how classic that was, and a lot that went on in that. Now we back again with Michael Nunn versus James Toney. And I made a mistake earlier when I said that fight happened in May. The James and Michael Nunn fight happened in May 10th of, I believe that was 1990, 1989. I believe the other fight that I was speaking about, that happened in February of 89. So I pretty much got that mixed up and I just thought about it. So my bad, y'all. I apologize for that. You know, we're not perfect at what we do. Things happen. I mean, so let's get into it. Like I said, I'm not going to be up here all day. I think I've enough, work doing this, and I'm going to pretty much just fall back after. So let's get into it. So for all my newcomers and all my regulars, welcome to the No Duck Zone podcast. If it's your first time, please smash that like button. Like, share, and subscribe. And I appreciate y'all. All right? Who's up in here? My man EJ, Eric Jordan, what's up, man? Appreciate you always coming through, showing support. What's going on with you? Once again, we're back. Just about an hour and a half ago, I had to go watch the Michael Nunn versus James Toney because I never really got that glance at that. And I went and glanced at it today. Because, there's a lot of fights I haven't glanced at. I just take a peek at them or I see highlights. Great. James Toney and Michael Nunn. I don't want to compare it to Durant and Aaron Barkley. It was action in it, but a lot of the action, I guess a lot of the action, Durant fight came, I don't want to say on in the rounds, but probably in the middle. But the James Toney and Michael Nunn was so thick. You have to put it up there. Now, remember earlier I said I like fights where it's wars. That was, I just finished watching Virgil Ortiz and what's his name? However you pronounce his name. I just finished, literally just watched that now. Classic. Another fight that we could talk about years from now. It's it, it's added on as one of those back fights. In the beginning when you watch these fights, uh, as if you were watching them live, right? And you try to fill out because a lot of the action is not always in the first round. I don't know who you are, Lego, Clone, Bob. You can have a nice day. I don't know who you are, but peace. When y'all come on here, I know your mamas and your daddies taught you how to say hi and speak to people. So at least do that when you walk in. If not, this ain't the place for you. Thank you. Um, And you know, we expect to see a lot of action in the big bouts. And sometimes that don't happen. We don't see that until um, in the middle rounds, and that's kind of what in the James Toney and Michael Nunn. And just like it's funny, right? Like the Duran and Aaron Barkley, both of those two fights had something in common because both guys got knocked down. Both guys got knocked down, and but it was hold on, here we go, there we go. Have a nice day. Um, when Aaron Barkley got knocked down, he was hurt when he was able to come back from it. Michael Nunn got knocked down and didn't never really recover from it. You know, if you pay attention to both of those fights, and this is the only reason why I'm bringing them up because I them. But if you go back to that, he was able to recover from it, Aaron Barkley, and continue on. And as far as Michael Nunn and James Toney caught him, uh, he just wasn't the same from that. And these are the fights that we talk about when we say we want wars. And a lot of y'all don't know what you're looking at when you're looking at it. You're just looking at it. And maybe when you're watching it, there's a fight that plays in your head, but you're obviously not watching what's in front of you. This is why it's hard for you guys to understand what's going on. Body shots, uppercuts to it's okay. You know why it's okay? Um it's not okay for you to stay here. It's okay because these are some of the things that come with YouTube. When you're doing this YouTube, I had to realize, and this is what made me not want to get YouTube, dealing with the trolls. That's what really made me stay on Instagram and say I want to deal with them. But then I realized you cannot let them stop you. Um, you got to do what you do. You got to deal with the good and the bad, the ugly. I don't worry about them. There's no such thing as timing them out. If they're respectful, there's no need for you to get rid of them. But if they come in on some bullshit, monkeys or saying anything crazy, we get them up out of here. That's I don't need their company. This channel is for people who want to be here, and people who just want to come and talk boxing without any of the silliness. And the trolls have a place here. Anybody who constantly just puts the sport of boxing down has no place here. And people who don't know the sport of boxing don't have no place. So when people think they're going to come over here and say something that's going to throw me off or change up how I do my show, I don't have to worry about it because I'll get out of here. That's simple. So when we see fights like that, like the ones I'm talking about, now you understand why it's so important to talk about these throwback fights, to acknowledge these fighters, not just because of their names, but because of what they brought to the table. Michael Nunn and James Toney was a classic. And remember, Michael Nunn was no pushover. If you know, you know. And that was I don't want to say the first big test for James Toney. I don't know if I'll call it that because I don't know what I think the first big test for James Toney was probably Roy Jones. Because remember, they both went in that undefeated. And what happened with that? I believe that was actually James' first loss. But when I mention wars, that's exactly like that is what I'm talking about. And like I said earlier, when you mention fights like Arturo Gatti and Mickey Wars, these are fights that we can label war. And we can understand that, we'll understand the sport of boxing. Around as I'm watching both of these fights, from the in Barkley to the Michael Nunn and James Toney, both backs, both were classics. And I told you, I'm gonna be simple. I'm always simple. I'm not gonna say nothing today where. Sorry, I'm reading the chat. Gotta read the chat. And this is why I say it's always important to acknowledge the boxing and try to get away from what it is that we're talking about today. Because come on, man, I'm already talking about next week about what I want to talk about for next Thursday. I might get into David Tua. I might get into David Tua and Chris Bird. Two heavyweights. I might be all heavyweights next week. You know what I'm saying? It's not, it's. Well, I'll go back and watch that, Chris Bird and David Tua, and then I'll make a decision. But there's so much that we could talk about. So much. Tommy Morrison and Ray Mercer. Like we can get into some things. I want to get into that. So many, and then we can even come into the early 2000s if we want. There was a lot of great fights, but sometimes I'm not really too crazy about what everybody else is. And a lot of people are speaking their mind about however it is that they feel about what's going on. Hey, that's on you. I'm not none of these people any of my energy, and it doesn't do anything for me. So they will never get any of my energy. Why would I do that? I will continue to have these throwback Thursdays. And I will just keep continuing to have these talks. Just like the fighters that we love today, 5, 10 years from now, we can talk about them. Bruce Gas, what's up? We can talk about them. But I'm sorry, y'all, if I'm just the type of person where I don't talk about what's going on today, or I pick and choose who I talk about, because nothing moves me right now in the sport of boxing, except for the things that's getting ready to happen. So, a James Toney, a Michael Nunn, whoever, when you talk about throwback fights, Ernie Shapers versus whoever, when you bring these type of fights that are necessary to have, and we can't shy away, because how can we shy away from, how can we teach anybody the history of boxing or what's been going on if we don't take the time? This is the reason why more people should be participating when we're having these throwback. Stormy does it, and y'all just act like it don't exist. Because y'all are so goddamn about these fighters y'all only comfortable with knowing. Man, we don't want to talk about all these guys because they're done already. But half guys are done already, and they're not even, some of them are still in prime. And some of them are done, and their behavior lets me know that. So how can we teach anything about the sport of boxing if we don't sit here also and go back into time? We don't go back into time because y'all are so stuck on today to try to understand what you have to take it back. And I just don't get y'all. It should be a panel full of people on the show when it come back to throwback. That's what lets me know about a lot of y'all are not as knowledgeable as you say you are. And it lets me know how long you've been watching boxing. Oh yeah, I know about that guy, but who cares? Who cares? I don't want to talk about versus Michael Nunn. I really like to get into the Tank Davis versus Jake Paul. So let's smack all these legends in their face and act like they damn thing for the sport. Some of them went bankrupt. Some of them got homelessness. They went through whatever they went through, and it doesn't matter who fault it is. Act like they just don't mean nothing to the sport. All these guys you praising today, or just they're saving boxing. See, I don't have to come up here and talk about and break down the Michael Nunn and James Toney. I ain't got to do all that. I ain't got to do all that. I ain't got to do it with no fight. It's not about breaking it down. It's about respecting and giving them their flowers while they're here. It is a shame, Eric Jordan, but you know what's more of a shame? How these channels keep entertaining shit. That's what makes me sick, because if something bothers you, yes, you have a right to your mind, but I'm not about to sit on my channel. I don't know about the rest of y'all, but I'm not going to sit on my channel entertaining that shit. It don't get no play. That fight, but any fight that's like that, any fight that might be a real fight that I feel like it ain't talking about, I'm not doing it. It's Throwback Thursday. I'm at every Thursday, giving the flowers to fighters that, rather here or not, I'm giving them their flowers. Next week, I might be talking about Chris Bird versus David Tua. I might get into that. I'm trying to hit different eras. I might get into that. I'm going to get into whatever I feel like I'm going to get into, but I'm going to give these fighters their flowers. At least I want to give the ones, too, that are here. I would like to give them their flowers. And I don't see anything that's wrong with that. So these throwback conversations should be on one panel, like men talking about it, teaching the people who don't know. We don't do that. We're too busy, and those fighters back then gave us what we wanted. Because it was all about the difference between the fighters that y'all love and y'all keep praising. The fighters that y'all love and that y'all keep praising are not giving y'all the same thing. They care about the bag. The fighters that we dealt with, they cared about the bag, but they also want to give the people what they wanted. What separates the fighters from back then till today? So when y'all having these throwback talks, panels should be full of people. The same way y'all can jump up there for today's fighters, why can't you do the same thing for a throwback fighter? I don't understand that. How is it possible that you can't do that for the man who opened the door for the... It's not about coming up here saying, well, yeah, we'll break down the fight. I ain't got to listen. Go ahead and do that. First of all, I'm not even on no type of timing like that right now at this point, because I'm trying to make this a long video. I just want to be on here long enough to speak my mind. So it's not about that. It's about giving them their flowers and acknowledging them. What seems a problem that we all can't come on a panel and do that? Stormy does it. I know does it. Yeah. You know what? I'm going to be honest with you, Eric Jordan. I don't even want to see the best fight. I want to see a war. I'm at a point where that best fight the best is so overrated, because you hear a lot of these fake fans say that. They don't want to see that. What they want to do is see their favorite fighter stay undefeated. So put him in the best situation where he can stay undefeated. So when they say they want to see the best fight the best, that's BS, because when it's time for your guy to really fight somebody, now the question becomes is, why does he have to fight him? I want to see a war. That's what I want to see in the ring. So give me a guy that we never heard of against a guy that we all are familiar with. I keep telling y'all this, just because you're familiar that doesn't mean he's going to beat that other guy. It could end up being a war. I want to see a war. I don't even care about the best no more. Give me a war, because we don't know what's going to happen in the war. We don't know. Give me a war. That's what I'm not using the I want the best fights. Everybody's saying that. You got coaches, referees, cameramans, content creators, ring card girls. We just want to see the best fights. That sound good. But I'm going to tell you, I want to see a war. I want to see somebody's nose hanging off their face. Huh? They eyeball damn near hanging out their eye. I want to see a war. That's what I want to see. And that's what makes now, don't get me wrong. You might not see somebody with their nose halfway off or eye out the socket. I don't want nobody to get hurt like that. You know, this is things happen. But y'all don't know what y'all want. Y'all assume y'all know what y'all want. Y'all don't know what y'all want. Y'all gonna support anybody who stays on top of the ladder, who's ever climbing the ladder. And the minute they fall down, you're looking for somebody else to deride. Are we really fans of the sport of boxing? We're sitting here talking about Toney versus Michael Nunn. And I've done past old school fights. I just did Aaron Barkley and Roberto Duran. Nobody had to respond to rebuttal for that. Oh, that's an old fight. Nobody cares. How? Y'all don't care. But y'all care about these WrestleMania matches happening. I don't get that. But y'all be the first ones that if you've seen these legends in person, you'll be quick to run and go take a picture and lie to them and tell them how you always been a big fan of them. I'm watching you. But won't have the time to come up here and acknowledge them, and you don't know who's watching you. So when they hear that you disrespecting them or you down in the fight or we don't want to talk old school, I don't understand how it works. But this is what y'all do. These are the games that y'all play. I'm watching Michael Nunn and James Toney like as if it was live today. I didn't watch it like it was an old school. I was watching it as if I was watching it today. And I mean like if the fight happened today, not like, oh, you was watching it today. No, I'm talking about it as if the fight happened last week. That's how I felt when I was watching it. Because that's how it was. And I'm only going to continue to bring more throwbacks. Rather if you want to hear it or not. If you don't want to hear it, this ain't the channel for you, and that's okay. Leave. Leave. We're going to bring you what's real. Bring you the facts. And the fact of the matter that your favorite fighter wouldn't be here if it wasn't for these guys opening the door, because they had to open the door for somebody who had to open the door for your favorite fighter. Sometimes y'all need to be reminded of that because y'all get too caught and too hyped about this. And I don't understand that. This shouldn't even be a conversation in 2025. It's the same damn thing with y'all. Every time I turn around, nobody sees anything wrong with it. Nobody sees anything wrong with it. The same way y'all all can 6, 8, 10 of y'all can get on one panel, keep arguing about the same conversations. Why does anybody say, hey, you know what, let's take a day, even if it's not a Thursday, let's take a day, let's try to acknowledge some of our throwback fighters. Even if you did a segment where you took the throwback fighters versus today fighters. At least you're acknowledging them. Y'all won't take the time to do that. But you take time to argue and just debate about the same bullshit. I don't understand how that works. I don't get it. Somebody help me to understand, because maybe it is something that I'm missing, that I'm not on to. It's got to be something that I'm not catching on to. Because y'all can't be, a lot of y'all can't be serious. Go back and just watch a Nunn versus James Toney, the Aaron Barkley versus Durant, or any other class out there. Any other classic one. There's so many. I just gave you some. Ray Mercer, Thompson. Huh? You ever watch Ali and Foreman? Go back. There's so many that we can sit here. So many. Castillo and Corrales. Which I think one on that. I don't know if I did. I think I just did a video on Chico. I got to go back and look. But if not, that's going to be one of the I'll probably bring. So there's so many of them right now. So many of them. If you want to speed it up, Ortiz or Luis Ortiz, King Kong, whatever, even the fight with him and Wilder, the first one, classic. That was pretty much a war on Wilder's side, because he was in for a war when he got hit in that 7th round, and King Kong woke him up. It was now we got to go to war. I got to get you up out of here now, because now you're trying to embarrass me. Oh, you damn near gave me my first loss. Wilder's first loss would have been by King Kong had he not recovered from that 7th round. Somebody stop you when I'm lying. Smash my like button, y'all. Appreciate y'all. Good afternoon to y'all. I hope everybody feeling good out there. Yeah, Nino, I don't know. I don't care nothing about it. I don't talk about that on my show. I don't even care about it, bro. That's why we talk real boxing over here. We talk real boxing. I leave that fight right there for the other channels. Over here, we do real fights. That right there is the Big Show versus Mayweather, WrestleMania. I have that. That won't be on in my TV in my house. And I won't even be talking about it. I'm only bringing it up because these other channels are out here lost to keep entertaining this shit. This is why people who walk into boxing for the first time don't know what's going on, and they think a fight like that is really supposed to happen. Yeah, he put him to sleep. Yeah. But he almost lost, but that's another classic fight. See, we do real fights over here. We have real boxing conversations over here. Yeah, we talk about today's, if today fights make sense. I'm all about stuff making sense. I'm not one of these channels that I keep. I'm not one of these channels. I look for clicks and views. I don't give a shit about none of that, man. I don't care nothing about none of that. I swear to God, I don't care nothing about none of that. No, sir. No, sir. Yeah, that sold out in 10 minutes. Yeah. Yeah. We talk real boxing over here. And there's no disrespect to anybody that y'all run y'all channels how you run it. That's cool. But over here, we're going to give legends their flowers. No matter what about them. If it's a Terry Norris, if it's a Hector Camacho, whoever it is, when we talk about old school fighters, because on Thursdays, this is what we do. This is what we do. If it's Hakeem Rockman, if it's Lennox Lewis, if it's Tyson, if it's Pernell Whitaker, if it's Roy Jones, if it's Nate Campbell, if it's Poison Jr. Jones, it doesn't matter. Dead or alive, we're going to salute our fighters, but we're trying to salute the ones that's alive, that's still here. We like to give them their flowers and not have to wait till they pass away Because as soon as they pass away, the first thing some of y'all going to do is go to your channel and talk as if you was a fan. Y'all be want to be fans of fighters when they die. Yeah, you might have grew up in that era when he was, but you spent more time talking about today's fighters. And today fighters don't give a shit about what you think about them. I don't know, Dino. I'm not talking about that right now. I just told you. I'm talking about old school boxing. I'm not talking about Canelo versus Crawford until the week of the fight. I don't do that on Thursday. On Thursdays, we talk about throwback fights. I'm saving that. Every other channel is talking about that already. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about that the week of the fight. I don't care about that right now. Right now, I'm giving my throwback fighters their flowers. We're talking about James Toney versus and every other throwback fighter that's out there. Crawford and Canelo, I'll worry about that the week of the fight. I'll be talking about that the week of. Channels have been talked about that, talked about it, talked about it, talked about it, and talked about it to a point where it gets boring. I'm going to sit and hold my. If you come back, Nino, if you feel like it, and join me the week of the fight, I'll be able to tell you what I think. But right now, that fight is not important to me. None of these fights that's coming now at this moment for today is important to me because I'm giving my flowers to my back fighters. So you're more than welcome to come if you have time. Just know on Thursdays we do throwback fights. We don't talk about no fights for today. All the flowers go to the throwback fighters. Gotti was, yeah, it was. It was. Yes, it was. Gotti versus Ward was a war. War. It was a war. One of my favorite trilogies, not just fights. Favorite. But yeah, James Toney, Nunn, it was great. You see, James stopped him. And it was dope. It was a dope fight. The Roberto Duran, Aaron Barkley, dope. That was kind of at the end. It was like, did Duran really win? What happened? We don't know, but round by round with Michael Nunn and James was they both went at it. There was great shots, uppercuts. It was great movement, head defense. It was all of it into one made the fight more than it was a war, and that's what I look for in boxing. I want wars. Y'all say the best fight the best. Y'all don't want that. That just be cat. Sound good. Y'all don't want the best fights. You just want your fighter to stay undefeated the best way he can. That's what y'all telling me when you say I want the best fights. When it's time for your guy to get in there with the best, now you're questioning why should we fight him? Why did we have to fight him? Why can't they go across the street with this guy? Well, you know why? Because there's no such thing as different sides of the streets anymore. It's over with now. Everybody got to see somebody at some point, no matter what promotional company they're on. Somebody got to see somebody. That different sides of the street shit is over. It's quiet for that. I don't want to stay to 6:30. I don't want to stay to 7:05. I'm not doing that. But I'm not going to be on here long, y'all. I just wanted to mention that. If you haven't checked James Toney versus Michael Nunn, go check it out. Aaron Barkley versus Roberto Duran, go check it out. And any other throwback fight out that y'all never bothered to check it out. Don't tell me you know about it. I used to sit down and watch it with my pops. No, check it out. Check it out. Because the boxing today is going crazy. It ain't going to drive me crazy. It's going to drive y'all crazy because y'all let it. It's not going to drive me crazy. Y'all don't never see me coming up here stressed out on my live for 3-4 hours, mad at a fighter that make a best decision that he's going to make for his family. And we can voice out it, but he's going to make the best decision. Y'all don't see me crashing out. Y'all crashing out. Not me. These fighters don't do shit for me. They don't pay my bill. I'm not a part of their team. They don't take care of me and my wife. So whatever decision they make is what they make. And if I don't want to support it, then I'm not going to do it. De La Hoya versus Mosley was a classic. I just did De La Hoya versus Mosley too, Nino. I wish you would have been here like 2 Thursdays ago. Maybe I did, yeah, man. You should have been here for that. We had fun with that. I'm going to come back next Thursday. I'll be here to do the Chris, I'm about to say, the fuck. I'm coming back to do Chris Bird versus Davenport. That's going to be next Thursday at 6:05. Next Thursday at 6:05. Chris Bird versus Davenport. And I got a lot of other classic ones that I'm going to come with. But just check these throwbacks out. Check them out, y'all. Just check them out. We're not telling you ones in particular. Take the time to check them out. It's worth seeing. That's all I'm saying. I'm not going to hold y'all. I'm going to get up y'all. I'll be back tomorrow. We'll be doing the Earl Spence. Well, let's do this. Charlo, I guess, wants smoke with Earl Spence. So even though I know some people are already talking about it, I'm going to talk about it tomorrow, give my opinion on how I feel about it. And that's going to be it. Because I know everybody's touching that story. Everybody's voicing their opinion on how they feel about it. I have no problem with it. Eric Jordan, you know what? I'm not everybody's favorite content creator, and I can't break it to everybody, and I don't talk like everybody, but that's what makes me unique. That's what makes me unique. I don't try to be nothing more than what I am. You know what I mean? And I would love to stay on here longer, but I must move, so I can't, and I was already on here earlier. So there's no need for me to stay up here 3 hours, sounding like a tape recorder repeating myself. But I appreciate you, Eric Jordan, and I appreciate you, Nino. Nino, make sure you come on back. You seem like you're a good person. I like to keep good people on here because this is a good people. As long as you stay good, you're always welcome to come back. So join me tomorrow, 6:05, Earl Spence versus Jamel Charlo. Let's see if it happens or if it's just talks. We'll see. I love y'all. Be safe. Make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe. Y'all know what it is. It's the No Duck Zone podcast. Let's go.